I feel like players who are brave enough to do this style are, well, they're just brave. Pigbaby coming in, man.
What a cool song to pick. Coming in for his first game here at Pro League. It's been a while since we've seen this guy, huh?
Yeah. In fact, I think, like, it's been like a year or so. Like, I think he played like once or twice in round 1 last year. Like, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
This guy has been training, practicing his cheese builds in the team house for quite some time, and now he gets picked on Overgrowth, a 2-player map. I have a feeling that we might see some aggressive non-standard play, especially against somebody like DeParture. Now, DeParture is 1-9. You know, he's had a rough start of the season. He's only played 3 games. He's 1-2. He did take a game. It was a nice game, in fact, that he was able to win, but he just hasn't been able to get his momentum ever, really, in StarCraft 2. He's been around a long time, like a long, long time, and we'll have to wait and see what he's got planned. I mean, this guy is also one of these old Xenix heroes. Like, I'm pretty sure this guy was in the Xenix clan back in the day.
Well, I'm really curious to see if DeParture has done his homework. What you were saying about Pigbaby, it makes sense. I think we may see it here on Overgrowth. He's coming out on this map for a reason. Or is he going to show us something new here? That's what I'm excited to see. A lot of new cool stuff happening down here at Pro League. We're about to jump into game number 2 here on Overgrowth. It's going to be between Pigbaby and DeParture. Let's jump into that game right now. Over here in the top, right in the green for the Jin Air Green Wings, the Protoss player, he is Pigbaby.
You ever get the feeling he kind of reminds me of TY a little bit? I don't know. Anyway, to the bottom left in teal, it's DeParture for MVP.
Why don't you explain yourself?
Why do you feel that way? I just feel like he just kind of like, when I see Pigbaby, I feel like he seems like he has the same personality as TY. Like, I know TY pretty well. I don't know Pigbaby as well, but I like see the way he moves. I'm like, you remind me of TY, not because of how he looks, but just because of how he is. Like, I don't
his
know
mannerisms.
Yeah,
I get that sense a little bit as well.
I like get the feeling he's the type of guy that if he played Terran, he totally would build a factory like randomly on Habitation Station and try to push with 2 siege tanks. It wouldn't work, and he'd be like, I guess I'm never doing that again. He gives him that kind of feel.
Yeah.
The pylon is in the main base, by the way.
Yeah. No craziness coming out of Pigbaby just yet.
We're gonna see an 11 pool.
Ooh.
Basically a 10 pool with a drone castle, but still delayed a little bit.
Interesting. A little bit slower than that 9 pool, I guess, but squeaks out some of those drones, so it's not too early here. Do see a gateway coming down, so no forged shenanigans. Pylon probably would have been on the low ground anyway. And we're going to see a pretty early scout here at a Pigbaby. He's going to know what's going on. He should be able to wall this off and be totally fine.
He's going to totally fake a cannon, I think. There's no drone scout, which actually surprises me because this is Pigbaby. Like, I would have already checked for proxies like twice on a 2-player map versus Pigbaby, man. Like, somebody's like going to tweet at me how many times he's done that. He's probably done it like 7 times in his recorded match history. He's a great cheeser. Now, do see probe coming in. Gonna see, oh, you went for an early pool. Okay, gotta kind of change up what I'm doing back at home. Gotta make sure I got everything set up ready. Gotta get my wall up. Gonna go core before Nexus if he was planning on doing gate Nexus core. Just gonna have to change that up. Just to make sure he's got that wall set up, getting that zealot out.
Here come the first 4 lings. He's gonna stop at just 4. He knows with that scout, he's probably not gonna be able to get much damage done. So just make 4, control the map, get some vision down with your overlords, take the watchtowers, etc., etc.
Yeah.
He should have actually checked that one for the probe, but he doesn't. The probe's going to survive. He's going to see those guys running across the map.
Bad luck, man. Well, this is going to be totally held. I mean, this is going to accomplish nothing.
Yeah, he sees it.
He is committing to
6 more lanes.
Yeah. And this is actually going to get scouted too, right? Like,
you what, mate? Like, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, this is a bit weird. He's going to pool them, but he doesn't have gas, so it's going to be like a slow ling attack. Okay, I think he's just going to try to kill the Nexus.
I guess.
Like, he hasn't mined any gas at all this whole game.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He can't. I mean, he could make a baling nest if he had the gas for it, you know, like, he could get speed if he had the gas for it, but he just plans on doing this with Solings. I think he's just going to try to stop the Nexus from going up for a little while, but he's definitely not going to be able to end the game with this, and this is a very expensive investment, not only in minerals, but also, like, in larva. His drone count is still down at 13. And
how many lings does he have at this point?
He has 22.
22. He's got 13 drones. Here's that Nexus coming down. And what do we have for the products? We got a Zealot, a Stalker, and a Mothership Core.
You know, this could actually force a cancel on this Nexus. Yeah, I mean, I think it absolutely will kill.
Oh, man, that Stalker's getting a bit out of position here. He's going to try to run it back.
There's a sentry. He should be fine, but there's no way he could save this Nexus. It's absolutely going to have to be canceled. And I think this is just the idea. Like, the whole time, this whole game, like, DeParture's been trying to play this, like, tempo-based aggression. Like, he started with an early pool, and then he just made a bunch of slowlings, which is absolutely not expected here by Pigbaby. Now he's really messed with his tempo. He's delayed this Nexus. But I don't know if it's worth it. You know, is it worth it with all these lings? I'm not sure. You know,
well, he's put so much pressure on the Protoss now. I think he could definitely go for a third base sometime soon here. You know, he's got total map control with this as well. It's okay. I mean, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's definitely not terrible. That's absolutely true. He's still low on drones. I mean, he just made a big swell, so he's finally caught up to the Protoss. He's like 29 to 28.
Yeah, he's just pumping them now, man.
He has to. But these lings, you know, they're without speed, just going to be useless for the rest of this time. Just simply because even a Stalker and 2 sentries and 1 Zealot and a Mothership Core, it's like this tiny group of units. Even with only like 1 sentry there, he's just never going to make anything happen. There's a wall now even. Did that probe even check the base? I don't think he did. I'm going to check that. No, he didn't.
No, wow.
That's kind of weird. Almost makes me wonder if he's going to hide a pylon than just attack. He's making a few gates.
He definitely could. I mean, he's adding the forts now with the Twilight Council. Kind of screams Blink. And we do have an Overlord actually going into the base right now. If he could spot that, he'd be in a great spot here at DeParture would.
Yeah, and in fact, you know, that's where these links kind of come into play a little bit, actually. If he draws the units away, he might be able to do something with those. Or really, what I meant to say is if the lings are at the front, maybe he doesn't bring these units back fast enough. Let's check that vision. Check it for me, JKS. He saw both, so he's totally in the know. DeParture's he's playing a pretty cool game here. Kind of liking how he's taking
I'm liking it as well. And he sees all those sentries. I think he's got to have a good idea of what's going on here. He's playing against Pigbaby as well. Do you see that lair finally coming in here? And this attack is actually happening right now. He has to be careful about that 1 Stalker. Definitely wants to keep that alive. We do have the +1 and Blink on the way.
Yeah, but he's just going to attack straight up right away because he knows that because of all the droning that DeParture was doing, he actually probably doesn't have that many units. He can always just recall if things get antsy. And the other thing to note is, like, if he just gets there and there's like a ton of units, he recalls and he's like, wow, I guess you just made a ton more units again, and now you have less drones. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, recall's so good for that. You can put on the pressure onto the Zerg, force them to make units they don't want to make, and just back off. You got a lot of sentries. Take your third base. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You know, recall was one of the like most controversial things about part of the Swarm when it first came out. Everyone was like so scared it was going to be so strong, and as it turns out it is. Ooh, a bit of a mistake there on how he ran those lings away. That cost him big. I don't know, man. This is a lot of units coming out. 4 more gates. He's got the Robo just to make a Warp Prism and probably an Observer just to make sure he doesn't actually, run into Burrow, which is on the way.
He's got that 1 probe over there at the third base. It's kind of like, okay, you've been over there for about a minute now. You still haven't made that third base. Are you really going for it? Is it a fake? You've only got 45 probes.
I think he knows what's up.
I don't know, man.
He's moving across the map. He needs to make sure he doesn't get these units force fielded again.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's fine to move across the map like this to buy time, but you cannot afford to lose units when you're up against such a hardcore push. So this is almost all in out of Pigbaby. It's almost all in.
He never even makes that Nexus, by the way. He's still got that probe over there, but he just never made it. Blink is about to finish up here, but he's also got Burrow here, DeParture does. He's trying to make the Spore Crawler. It's going to help out a little bit. And he's also got that roach speed, and he's pumping out those roaches. He's got 13 on the way. The +1 to range attacks is halfway, but I think it's going to be too late here. He's got a very sizable army.
He's going to have a ton of roaches in just a second.
But of course, that Protoss army also very, very strong here. He's got so many force fields and fighting in this choke here at the third base. Let's see what Pigbaby can do.
Oh, boy. He lets everything get in, too. This is going to be a disaster, I feel, for Pigbaby. Force fields aren't even going to matter. And by the way, he has Burrow, which there's no detection here whatsoever. He's not even using it because that's how good of a situation he's in right now. I feel like if he was, he'd actually be doing so much better in this fight. Now the Observer's here anyways.
Yeah, really good follow-up with the force fields. The first ones weren't great, but the second ones were really nice. That is a really nice wall. So many of those roaches are forced behind that wall. He's got the blink now, but again, he's losing so many of those sentries, and now he has none. It's just straight-up stalkers against all these roaches. +1 is about to finish for the roaches.
He needs a few more lings to come in to finish these off. The roaches are trying to force their way through. There's a huge warp in the stalkers. Starting to blink back a little bit. I think he's just held this. I mean, it's over.
Especially with the +1 finishing up here at the end.
That first engagement was so good for DeParture. Like, if that had gone badly, I feel like he might not have held this. But it was just like the perfect storm of awful. Like, all the roaches just walked in his forces. Where were they? They were just not there.
And look at that mothership core. Look how awkward that is. I guess he was keeping it at home in case of a counterattack, but it's got full energy, and it's still going over to that third base.
I guess he's going to try to check for the fourth with that. I mean, I guess. There's not much else it's going to do over there. It's kind of not where it wants to be.
Awkwardly stand there doing nothing.
It's just like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing over there? I thought I told you to go home. Huge investment in cannons at home, by the way, to stop counterattacks, which is pretty expensive.
Pigbaby was really, really scared of that, actually. To be honest, I wouldn't have really put it on DeParture to go for that kind of counterattack. That takes a lot of confidence to go for. That's like a life move, you know?
Yeah.
DeParture just going back home. He's like, okay, I got to defend with everything. Imagine if there were like 2 really good time warps on this whole army, and he's got like 300, 400 extra minerals instead of those cannons.
And this isn't over yet. I mean, with some stellar micro and good time warps, like he might be able to make this work.
He's going to try at least.
There's a ton of roaches, and there's burrow movement in the second. It's not ready yet, and there's the first good time warp. Got to pick off some of these units. But the longer he waits, the more and more roaches come out.
That was a really good bait out of DeParture, actually. Gets that first time warp out. I mean, not even one roach went down there. And there's a second time warp. It's pretty good. Actually, catches a very big chunk of those roaches, but a really nice concave here out of DeParture, rather. Some some warpins here come out of that warp prism, but I think this is just too many roaches.
Just too many roaches. He didn't even need the burrow movement. There's not a sentry to be seen here. And Pigbaby is going to get shut down hard in this game number 2. Even the drones coming out to say, what's up?
Yeah, man.
That's going to, I don't even know.
That wasn't really necessary, but,
Drones just were like, you know what? This is our time. Let's go fight.
So, Pigbaby's not going to leave the game yet. He's down 100 supply. GG. Okay.
Wrecked.
Was going to say.
And DeParture takes his second win this season, and he looked pretty solid. He looked pretty good. I don't have a bad thing to say about how he played that game. I don't have one bad thing to say. I feel like he assessed the situation. He scouted. His opening was a bit unconventional.
Yeah, unconventional.
But, I mean, hey, he may have made Pigbaby feel so uncomfortable that he had to do a push like this. I'm not sure Pigbaby planned on doing that from the start, but he assessed the situation. He had what he needed to defend. He did everything right, I feel. He even went burrow and burrow movement. He saw there was a late robo, and he also knew that if I just defeat the sentries, then I take all his power away.
Yeah. DeParture's one of those guys that he just keeps getting sent out time and time and again, so he's really good in the practice house, but he never really looked good in the booth. And as he gets more and more of these wins, he's going to lose a lot of those nerves that really holds him back, and we're going to see more and more confident play out of this guy. In this game, it really just looked like he wanted to control the entire game. He controlled the map from the beginning of the game, and he just made it work. Really insane scouting as well. Just sees everything here.
Yeah, I mean, he looks really good, man. I was impressed. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. It looks like about 3 minutes, so we'll be right back. See you then.